Hello everybody and welcome to Mindset Monday. My name is Sally Garozzo and this is the place to be to get more inspiration and to get more motivation on how to live a happier and more and a deeply fulfilled life, that's for sure. So today's session is all around the idea of positive affirmations. I've called it the truth about affirmations. Now, I love a positive affirmation, definitely, but sometimes I find them a little bit tricky because they make me feel a bit worse sometimes. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced that. So if you don't know what a positive affirmation is when you say something to yourself like, I am beautiful, I feel happy, I am confident, I am a money magnet, I am attracting the perfect partner, the perfect soulmate into my life. So you get the idea, right? Now, I recently heard the word toxic positivity and it really resonated with me. I don't know if any of you know that person who is so positive, it's a bit icky, and actually you realize they're being so positive because they don't actually want to feel negative. They're frightened of these negative feelings, these negative emotions, possibly because they've not done any of the inner work. Now, toxic positivity just is very, very repellent, I think. So kind of that's what you're doing to yourself if you don't really resonate with the positive affirmations that you're saying. Because the trouble with these statements is that if they don't feel true to you at the time, they will for sure increase your levels of frustration, which will then increase the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it will just make everything worse, okay? So it increases your out of alignment-ness, okay? Because the thing is, when we feel bad, we just want to feel better right away. And saying things to yourself that you just can't feel in the moment is going to make you feel worse. Hi Emma, hi Graham, thanks for watching. Now, the good news is there is a way of working with affirmations that does make you feel better. And the way that we do that is by meeting yourself where you are, okay? You have to meet yourself where you are. You just cannot force or cajole yourself into a better feeling place unless you meet yourself where you are first and foremost. Because if you try to force yourself, you will ultimately rebel against it. And that is when we ditch spirituality, we ditch the inner work, we say it just does not work, okay? So, and that's sad because it does work. This deep inner work does work. So we don't want to push it away, but we need to work with it. So how do we make positive affirmations work for us? So instead of forcing positivity onto ourselves, we have to collaborate with ourselves with kindness and compassion, much like we would do with a friend who really needed us, okay? So kindness and compassion will unblock anything. If you treat a child with kindness and compassion, they will grow, they will flourish into being really healthy, really wholesome, really positive. But if you scaremonger them, if you teach them things that are just not true about themselves, it will all go wrong. So imagine this, okay? So you've just got a text from a friend who is upset, who is frustrated, who's overwhelmed, and he or she desperately needs some company, okay? So you, out the kindness of your heart, you go around there, okay? And when they open the door, you wouldn't then go, your life is amazing, you're so confident, you're a money magnet, you are just, oh, look at you, you're just so beautiful, I could just hug you all over and, you know, good things are coming your way, I can just feel it, I can just see it. You wouldn't say that to somebody who was distressed. You know, they would just shut the door and then they would cry even deeper because they would go, that's just not where I'm at right now. My life is a bloody mess, okay? So you, in the kindness of your heart, you would have to meet them where they are. So what you would do is you would say to them, they open the door, they're crying, you would give them a big hug and you would say to them, oh my God, poor you, this absolutely sucks. I completely understand. You know, I've been there myself. This is awful. I hate these emotions too. I really hate anger. I really hate frustration. I'm totally with you 100%. I'm here for you. Let me try and understand what's going on for you. Talk to me. That is what you would say, right? Then you would let them talk. And this is what they need. They need to talk honestly and openly about how it feels so that they can then discharge this negative emotion, okay? Without discharging it somehow, without stating how it is, any positive affirmations that you try to put on over the top will just be like a sticking plaster, okay? So it won't work. You need to soothe the wound first. You need to put a little bit of cream on that wound before you put the sticking plaster on, okay? So as they start to talk to you, they will then start to feel validated. They will start to feel heard. They will start to feel understood. They will stop feeling like they are going crazy, because when somebody feels like they're being heard and understood, they stop being in their own head. They start feeling deeply understood. And you can do this with yourself. You can meet yourself where you are at by writing out how you feel. So you've got to write the shit stuff. You've got to say, I feel hopeless. I feel helpless. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel life is not worth living. I feel... Now, the trick is to write what you feel on the inside rather than start telling the story about how unfair it is, or without going into the story. You want to be as pure as you can with the way that you feel. I feel hopeless at the thought that this will never change. I feel distraught at the thought that I'll never be able to get another job again or get another partner again, or this will never change. So you're saying it as it is. And I like to actually journal in my dictaphone. So I speak this out loud. I find it discharges the energy, because your throat chakra is the perfect place to actually discharge this negative trapped emotion. It's a portal for doing that. So then you would say to your friend, well, after you've listened to them, you would say to them, oh, I totally hear you. I totally hear what's going on for you. And I'm really, really sorry that you're feeling like this. And I know you're strong. Notice you say and, not but. You're always validating them. And I know you're strong. And I know you've got yourself out of this place before. Remember when you meditated before and you started feeling better? Remember that time when you had a good night's sleep and it all started to make sense, and then you felt confident enough the next day to make that phone call, to put your makeup on and go to the shops? Remember that time when you asked that guy out? Remember that time when you asked for more money and it actually happened, or you spoke up in that meeting? And then they start to feel better, because they then start to believe in themselves. You're giving them positive reinforcement from a place where you're meeting them, and then you start bringing them up in that way. Your friend will start to feel better, because they'll ultimately begin to understand, I can do this. I've got this. Actually, I'm not a bad person. I've been there for myself before. I can do it again. And if I haven't been there for myself before, I can start now. So your friend will start to feel better, because remember, it's in the feeling better that things start to flow to us. The health that we want, the attitude that we want, the confidence that we want, the confidence to speak up, the confidence to ask for what we need, ask for certain foods, or ask for money, or things to be different in a certain way. We then have that confidence. When we feel better, we make better choices, and then we feel good. Then from that place, we can start to say, I'm amazing, I'm a great person, I have confidence, I am confident, I am a money magnet, because money is coming to you, because you're creating it. You can say, I am capable of anything, I am attracting the love that I want, I am a superhero, I do have superpower, I can dig deep, I can get myself out of this, because it feels true. Okay, when we already feel like that on the inside, positive affirmations work. They just reinforce, they validate our feelings. But you've got to start from meeting yourself where you're at. I think in NLP they call it match, pace, lead. So you match what's going on, you start to pace, you start to bring up, and then you start to lead. So if I got you to say over and over again, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, and you didn't feel like it deep down inside, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work no matter how many times you say it. You have to start from where you are. You have to say, I don't feel like I am enough because, and then you fill in the blanks. And then you have to find that kind, compassionate state with yourself, just like you would with a friend. You have to talk to yourself like that, okay? Because most of us are so critical to ourselves. If we spoke to a friend the way that we speak to ourselves, our friends would just run a mile from us. So we have to soothe ourselves. We have to be kind and compassionate to ourselves, meet ourselves where we are, and then start to talk ourselves into a much better feeling place. So that is the essence of today's Mindset Monday. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, of course, you don't have to believe anything that I am saying, and it doesn't matter to me whether you believe it or not. What does matter to me, though, is that you try this stuff out and you see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But I have a feeling that it will. So here is some homework for you to help you collaborate with yourself better. Number one, meet yourself where you're at. Explain to yourself what is wrong. Explain to yourself how you feel. Write it down, put it in a dictaphone as if you are sending somebody a voice clip on WhatsApp. Imagine that somebody is there listening to you at the other end, okay? And you can just ramble and ramble and ramble. As long as you're not ranting unconsciously, you are explaining how you feel. You're saying, I feel trapped at the thought that I will never get out of this situation, or whatever it may be. Now, number two, most people never get past number one, but I know you watching will, because I believe in you. Number two, you imagine that you are the kindest, most compassionate angel that ever lived in the universe. And you are saying to yourself, you are soothing yourself with the words, what would the most kindest, compassionate angel or Buddha or whatever you want, friend, say to you? And they would say, oh my God, this sucks so much. This is so bad. I feel for you. I don't want this for you. What I want for you is to feel good. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel happy. You deserve to feel free. You deserve to feel better. And I know that you can, because I believe in you. And then see if you can tune into that feeling of compassion. And then you sit with that feeling of compassion. This is step 3. You sit with that feeling of compassion, and from there you begin to feel around those words and phrases that could have the potential to uplift you and bring you up to a different feeling state. So you might want to explore, with this I feel a sense of relief, and with this sense of relief I know I'm coming into alignment with myself. And from that place of alignment, I can then feel more confident. So I am confident. I know I can be confident. All I have to do is release, let go, release resistance, and find that kind, compassionate place, and then build upon the nice positive affirmations. You can write them out, you can say whatever you want, because that will start to feel better to you. Pardon me. It's letting go. Letting go is such a key word for all of this. We can't stick positive affirmations on top of trapped feelings and trapped emotions, because it would just make the frustration, the irritability, the anxiety, the depression much worse. And then you start with all sorts of addictions to try to compensate for feeling bad. You eat your feelings, you drink your feelings, you smoke your feelings, you shag your feelings away. We don't want to do that. So, positive affirmations are fantastic when they are done correctly, and they have the power to completely change your world, because they change your inner world and then your external world changes as a result. But if you are still struggling with deep-rooted negative programs and blocks, I want to let you know how I can help you. So for those of you that don't know, I do a 2-hour intense process called Rapid Transformational Therapy, which releases these subconscious blocks that might be holding you back from being kind to yourself. Because that's step one, ultimately, is being kind to yourself. And if you have a block around being kind to yourself and compassionate with yourself, you're constantly driving yourself, nothing's going to work. And so in RTT, what we do is find out where those blocks came from, and then we start to reinstall new positive language, like positive affirmations, but we do it in a way that is fully supportive of you. It's not going to feel not right, if you know what I mean. So, your mind is the most important piece of software you will ever purchase in your life. And I think it's crazy that some of us do, but we spend our lives just operating with the same outdated software in our minds. So, it's so important to invest in having a software update, if you like, so that you can then go about your life differently and unblocking yourself so that the things that you want, the internal feelings and the external circumstances, can come to you. So RTT, if you didn't know, was developed by the wonderful Marissa Peer. Do check her out. And, you know, it really is taking the world by storm. I believe and I feel it's taking over conventional therapy because it's rapid and it's rooted in neuroscience. So that's all I want to say on that. As always, feel free to message me if you've got any questions. Send me a direct message or an email, or do check out my website. Hope you found this useful. Please leave a comment. I will respond to all the comments. And have a great day. See you next week. Bye.